Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Maya. I'm Maya, and today's video is going to be about the Gormia coffee machine. And if you guys watched my previous videos, I think like a month or so ago, I bought this coffee machine with the intention to make tea in it. And I showed you guys making a lemongrass, like a loose leaf tea blend. And so from then I have learned how to make some teas, because some teas have to be made in different ways with the coffee machine. And so I just thought I would show you guys that, and while also showing you how to do it with AllSpice. And I know what you guys are thinking, that is like literally the definition of tea dust. And this surprises most people, but AllSpice is not all spices. There's actually an AllSpice like spice. It's like, it looks like a nut. And so that's what this is. But we don't have that AllSpice nut. But I have been. It's not a nut. It looks like the shape of a nut. But I wanted to try it, and that was how I learned that you have to make things different ways in the coffee machine, because the coffee machine was made to make coffee, not loose leaf tea. So I was going to show you guys that. So the first thing that is different is if you're making a cup of tea, this thing will give you up to 5 cups. But if you're making a certain type of tea and you just want to rely on the system, not turn it off halfway, then you need to know that you can only use a certain amount of this for a certain amount of water before you like water down your tea. But other ones, they need the water because it needs to be warm and it needs to be hot, so it needs to continue to like brewing your tea. So it works that way, but for others, it doesn't. So we have AllSpice here. We have black peppercorns. This is our little brand. We have our tea filters, and we have fennel seeds, cloves, and a little bit of cardamom seeds. And so, we also have the bay leaves. So starting with the bay leaf, to use the bay leaf in the coffee machine, you have to take it, and usually you're supposed to like leave the little hole, but you need to break it, which seems like obviously, but it actually, I did it without it, and it didn't work as well because it blocked the filter's ability to pour water through it, because it covers an entire space and water can't go through the leaf. So I break it so I can get the bay leaf flavor without the tea filter getting filled up with water. So that is bay leaf, and don't worry guys, I am planning to drink this, so I'm not just breaking this for no reason. Black peppercorns are actually the easiest way to make tea in the coffee machine, and I think it's because they're like the same, they're like a little smaller than a coffee bean, so you don't have any of the, you don't have to fix it in any way. You can grind it if you want, but honestly the whole peppercorns work better. So we're just gonna add a little bit of that. And I'm making this, guys, because we have a changing season in the state that I live in. And if you guys notice that I sound funny, it's because my throat is congested. So
you mean your nose is congested?
Well, yeah, but
it's like post-nasal drip.
Yes, but my nose isn't congested yet. Let's not speak that into existence. It's more like respiratory congestion.
Yeah.
And so these herbs and spices are really are really good for boosting your immune system. They're anti-inflammatory. Some of them are antioxidants. Some are antibacterials. And so let's add a little bit of fennel seed. And so what I'm hoping is they will help to break up the congestion, which cardamom seeds are really good at breaking up congestion in both your nose and in your respiratory tract. So adding a little bit of these. And for anyone who's curious, I use a regular tea kettle most of the time when I'm making tea. Sometimes I use a saucepan. I do not exclusively only use this coffee machine now that I got it. I know how to make tea the real way, I assure you. But for speed and being a college student and someone that works, sometimes I need the convenience that this coffee machine offers. And sometimes I don't, so. Clove, same deal. Even if you're adding it to a kettle, you only need 1 or 2. 'Cause it's strong. And then for this. So as you can see from all this, the bay leaf is taking up the sheer amount, like it's taking up way more space than any of everything that's in here. But it's a bay leaf. You wouldn't really.
You might just need to take the whatchamacallit off.
No, I like suffering. But this does the same thing, not because it is as big as a bay leaf, but because it covers an entire area like that. So what I try to do, if you would go on, is kind of convince it to go to one side. And this is the side where you can see the inside. This is the side where the water comes down. So I put it on this side so the water can go straight through it. Then whatever water filters out the other side. Because if you let it cover the entire surface, it will go through, some of it will, but it will fill water in here. And you can just dump it out, but you don't get as much tea. You have like 5 cups on the side, but only 4 come out.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have our little, what is this thing called? Kettle?
I don't know.
Thermos? We don't know. It has an
I'm not the one who uses this.
She is not. She's not. But I do say, if you guys want fast tea, I can make it in the coffee machine. And they're like, we're good. And I'm like, oh. So I'm going to make it to show you guys the color, because honestly, the first time making this, I thought that it was going to give me a very watery tea. And the other thing is, it does it because of the coffee filter. It doesn't take any of this powder down with it. And if you've ever put powder, like a spice powder in a tea kettle, it leaches through the bag. It doesn't come through this. And so I thought that was really cool. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like after I turn it on, and it gives us 5 cups of tea. All right, guys. So this is the coffee machine tea. So you can see it's like really dark complected. And if you allow it to sit until it completely cools down, it will only get darker. We don't have that much time to do that on camera, but I thought I would show you what I meant by water getting stuck up here. So there is 3.5 cups in here. There were supposed to be 5 cups. So that means this is 1.5 cup of water that just got trapped up here. But the reason why I didn't get trapped as much is because I made sure there was some space for the water to come through. But the thing that I like about this coffee machine is that if these parts aren't connected, that water is not coming through to the hot plate. And I can literally just pick this up and water is not coming through this unless I press this thing to go up. So I can just take this to the sink and I can pour it out and then grab this guy.
Or put it in the compost.
No, but I'm saying I can lift this thing out and then pour the water out, then lift the thing out, wash this, and then I can wash this, and the coffee machine's ready to do it again. I'm going to do that in a moment, but I wanted to show you guys a tea. This is unsweetened, but a thing you can do is put sugar inside of this, and when the hot water is coming through, it will melt the sugar, and then it will just distribute throughout the tea. So, again, sugarless. But very hot.
We'll let it cool down for a second.
Sorry, there's a squirrel doing weird stuff out of our back door. That will do it. That will do it. My mom suggested we should buy cough drops, and I said, this is my cough drop. And honestly, that would do it. The only thing that would make this even better would be to add some ginger. But this is, because that would really help with the congestion. But this is really good. This is, again, there's no sugar added. And when I'm feeling especially congested, I don't add a big amount of sugar if I add any sweetener at all, because I figure that it would work better without the sugar. And so this is perfect. It's perfectly flavored, and because it came out of a coffee machine, they kind of make it come out at the perfect sipping temperature without burning your mouth. And so there's that. The last thing I want to say before we end the video is when you do use this for tea, make sure you push this down when you're cleaning it so soap can go through the bottom so you can clean it. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.